Welcome back everyone to another video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a game I had in the mouse. Um, so this battle is going to be very close, going to be kind of intense, and it is definitely probably one of the better battles I've had on the mouse. I haven't played it that much. I'm not the greatest player at it, but when I first got it, I did make a video about it, and I shared my impressions with you and what I thought about it. And my mind hasn't changed about it. So if you want to see my reaction, go ahead and go back a couple videos, and you should see it of when I reacted to this tank. So we are on Karelia, and it is a tier 8 match. So because of that, I am going to decide to be playing very aggressive. Because I can use my armor more to my advantage when I'm fighting lower tier tanks. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. They have no artillery, which is really good. That's a huge bonus for us too. So this match should be just an easy breeze. So we're going to go ahead and push the south. A lot of our allies have gone north, which is kind of a good thing because I can pretty much for the most part on my own fight these guys in the south as long as I angle correctly. And yeah, the mouse, it works really well in the situation, like you're going to see here, but against higher tier tanks, like especially if it's all tier 10s and they're spamming heat or they have really good AP pen, then they're just going to overmatch your armor, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it, so you just have to be pretty careful there and make very wise trades, and you could trade shot for shot if you really want to. You'll still end up with like 2.5 to 3k damage, which is still pretty good. But yeah, it can be pretty hard to play. So first off here in the start, we're going to have quite a bit of block damage this game too. I think it's actually my damage record for block damage. It would have been higher probably if I was a little more careful at the end. I'm not going to spoil the end, but as you can see, there is nothing that these tier 8s can do, especially from a distance, and even that Foch spamming gold is having a hard time. He is using APCR, and of course the Yo does pen me because he is using heat, so he does put it around into us, but we're going to build up this block damage, and we already have 2,000 over, and it hasn't really been that long, to be honest with you, so they're trying to permatrack me. And eventually, I do decide to move a little bit. I'm wiggling the turret just to try to see if I can bait some shots, and that time it actually worked for the T-30, because he probably would have most likely penned my turret. I do put a little nice shot there into the T-28, got kind of lucky with that shot, yeah, for me, this tank is kind of a love-hate relationship. Of course, right now as you're watching, this is the love part I love of it, just the fact that it can do this. But at the same time, it's just so power crept. I feel like now that the E100 is significantly better, especially since it got buffed a little bit ago. They buffed the turret armor, so it's actually good. I'm gonna take a snapshot. It misses. It wasn't really a snapshot. It just wasn't fully aimed. But this Progetto that died is actually a good thing for me because now I can move up kind of safely and be a little more aggressive. So I'm going to use him as armor here for my lower plate, and I'm just going to be able to show my just my turret when I peek. So here is a little dangerous. I have to be careful because of the Conway. And I have to be aware of the tanks that are coming to the right because they could decide to push at any time. I don't think they will though, just because we have allies there in the south and to my right, and we have looks like another heavy tank in the back for some reason. So we're already at 5.5k blocked. We don't really have much damage, but that is going to change here over time. So I am gonna put a couple of shots here and into these guys, and I have to use gold too. I will say that too, that the AP pen is pretty garbage, kind of like the Super Conqueror's base pen and the ST2's base pen that I know of are pretty garbage for AP. So I noticed that I'm using a lot more gold in this tank than I would with most other tanks in general. The gun can be kind of trollish, but I feel like it's balanced. But I feel like if the gun was a little bit better, it would kind of make up for those power creeps. Like if the gun handling's not terrible, but if the accuracy and the reload, the DPM was a lot better, I feel like it would definitely kind of help counter out that um, the just the power crept armor on the tank. But yeah, I do still like it. It is it's a lot more frustrating for sure when I play against just all tier 10s, but tier 8s it's a lot of fun. That's really the only time that was a bad shot on my part. Um, it's tier 8s it's really fun here as we see, and I'm already at 7.5k blocked, and our team in the north is kind of holding for now. I was hoping we could push south, but I can't really move much here. I was hoping maybe to get a shot there. Again, another kind of poorish shot. I don't know if that was entirely my fault for bouncing that. Just it probably hit his upper plate, like in the top left there of that yo. The yo is known to be very kind of troll, and I do snapshot again um, there on him. And so far, not too bad. We have 8.5k blocked. We have over 3k damage, and I do make a mistake later on, which you guys will see, but it it does change the outcome of this game, but it doesn't negatively impact the game. It does prevent me from getting more than what I liked, more than what I wanted. That was also just a very bad shot. I think I could have maybe aimed a little lower because I think it hit his turret or his gun there. But yeah, that's kind of just the mouse being a little troll. I decided to switch back to AP because I don't really need the gold for getting closer in their tier 8s. So that's partly why I carry a lot of AP. That, and I just hate the thought of spamming gold unless if the pen is, that was we do load HE and we do decide to kill the Yo. I feel like that was the right decision to do, and it does kind of pay off. So, and I am going to kill this T-28 as well. Actually, no, I don't. I don't completely kill him, but I was expecting to. Yeah, so far so good. It's been a pretty even match. Um, the North is kind of fallen, to be honest with you. Again, that was a very poor shot on my part. I tend to snapshot a lot in this tank just because I want to I don't want to face the enemy as long as possible because they have a better chance of pinning my turret, of course, if it's straight on. Pretty obvious move there. But this is where I start to make a mistake. Now, I thought that the guys in the south were going to fall back all on the one line maybe, or maybe go all the way A line. So I thought maybe pushing this was going to be safe, but I was wrong. And you'll find out here very shortly of what happens. But I decided to switch back to gold because they have a patent in E5. The patent don't really have to worry about too much with pen, but it's that E5 I'm a little worried about because he does have stronger armor in regards to his cupola and stuff that I can't pen with AP. So I did know that, and also just for better shell velocity in case if I had to make some quick shots from far away, that I would have that shell velocity to rely on a little bit better. So this is the mistake here. So if I look where the E5 is, he's kind of sitting there right there if you look at the mini map, and this is where I put myself in the worst position possible. So I see the T103. Okay, that's fine. They're all coming back here. And honestly, this is kind of just where I turned my brain off and I was just kind of getting greedy, especially with the block damage and with the damage I had. Because ultimately, I knew I was at 64% mark, and I know I don't really need that much damage to one mark it, but I still wanted this to be a good game. And because of this misplay, I do decide to aim here, and we do put a shot into the M103. But this right here is the mistake. Look where the E5 is, look where I'm at. This is a very, very bad situation. I am now a one-shot. I snapshot out of panic, and unfortunately, I have to get closer to try to hopefully maybe hide from the E5, so the E5 is forced to overpoke. But it was also a mistake because he can pen me easier the closer I get, because he can aim for more obvious spots. Thankfully, I do bounce that, but I am going to die here very, very soon because of this E5. And this E5 did have a very good game. I might have over-angled there a little bit with the heat, so that was kind of my fault. But we ended up with 10.5k blocked and just under 4.4 damage, so not a bad battle. But because of that mistake, I'm going to look around here. what I think I should have done is I should have gone where our Leopard PTA is and where our ELC is, and that would have allowed me to do something a little bit better. I could have maybe once that E5 died, or we kind of had them in pincer, let the Barask spot down, let the Tiger move in. I could have had the Tiger moving with me. We would have been able to flank them here from the south, hopefully, and me and the Leopard and the Barask and the Tiger would have had them in a crossfire. So, unfortunately, it is completely my fault that I lost this game. And again, I got greedy because I thought, like, I did not expect the E5 to poke there, to be honest with you. Like I said, I kind of just turned off my brain. Um, so, yeah, kind of a bad play on my part. I thought maybe the E5 was going to poke up to there and I would have been able to shoot them there, but yeah, I should have waited longer to push up until we had them into a better crossfire. But yeah, the game, we don't lose and we don't win. It does become a draw, and you're gonna see how close it becomes. You know, it's uh, it's very very close. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna fast forward the replay a little bit. Let's see. So we've got it to this point here. Unfortunately for my allies, they're not exactly the smartest players. Um, and yeah, it does get kind of close. Like, don't get me wrong, I do give them prompts for trying, but again, I think it's pretty much my fault we lost this game. So the brass is going to move in a little bit. I try to message them in chat. I try to tell them to focus together, to push together. Now, the CS does die, and that means the E5 is alone, but the Barask is also alone, which gives the E5 a chance here. And I think this is when the Barask dies here quickly to the E5, because if you look at the minimap, the E5 should be right around the corner there. And I think he pushes this way, I think. I can't remember. Let's see what happens. But, yep, there he goes. He did push that way. So he is going to, unfortunately, die here pretty soon. The E5 is going to catch him. And he does kill the Tiger first, so the Tiger kind of made the same mistake I did, which was overpoke like that. So the ELC, he should have waited to shoot. He should have gone a while on the left side, and the Barras would have had him in they would have had him in a two-way crossfire like that. And unfortunately, look at that, ladies and gents, down to the wire. Our ELC has 12 HP, and our E5 has 344. Um, so very unfortunate there for our allies, and very unfortunate for me for making the mistake. Like I said, I pretty much threw it because we were less than one shot of damage away from winning this, and it was all my fault. So the E5 here misplays. He's not a very good player. I looked at his stats. He got very lucky this game. He did. He tried pretty good. So the E5, I do congratulate to for accomplishing what he did this game. But as you can see here, he's not the greatest of players. He kind of has my aim. um, and so the ELC is just gonna run. He's gonna try to kind of reset. So let's see what he does here. So theoretically, if the ELC went that way, like where I was pinging, he could have hid in the bushes, waited for the E5 to come on either flank. He would have most likely spotted them, and he would have been able to double bush up and kill the E5. So I'm not sure why he's going here, but kind of a poor play if you ask me. So he isn't. He thinks he's spotted. He realizes he doesn't, so he's going to turn kind of around as we see. Yeah, there he goes, and he backs up a little bit. And he does put, I think, I don't know if he low rolls or high rolls this, but like I said, it is down to the wire here. It's been a pretty intense game, at least that I've seen in a long time, and I know that I was pretty happy with the results of my game. Or of my results of, like, as far as doing damage, not a result of the game, because I obviously blew it. But as we see here, the ELC is going to aim, hopefully. Maybe he's going to aim. He's spotted the E5 misses, and look at that, guys. Just as the timer runs out, the ELC does not have enough time to react. And, yeah, it's game over. So, yeah, that was a pretty interesting game. I learned that I don't need to be greedy. I thought my team was going to carry a little bit better, to be honest with you, but I should have known better. Just looking at just knowing that we pretty much were an even score at the most of the game. Actually, we pretty much were all games. So, yeah, as we can see, I did get my first mark of excellence. Not a huge deal to a lot of people, but I always think that it's a first step in getting better. Even though it's not the hardest thing to play, it's not the greatest either as far as statistics. So yeah, as we can see, we got our we only got one kill that game, which is fine by me. I'm not really worried about kills, unless if you, of course, if you do a lot of damage, then they kind of matter. Or if it helps win the game, then like I said, they kind of matter. If we look here, I lost 70,000 from using some of the gold ammunition, or actually using a lot of my gold ammunition and just using food and stuff. So um, yeah, kind of the way it is. And then let's see how our team did. So our Barask, he actually did it. Like I said, their E5 did a good job. For his for the player he is, that was a good game for him. So I'm sure he was happy about that. Um, our Barask did really well too. Almost 5K in a tier 8 in a tier 10 game. That's pretty impressive, if you ask me. Um, and I think this is partly also could have affected the outcome of the game here, is these 2 zeros. But overall, not terrible. Like I said, I could have done better if I didn't make that mistake there at the end. I could have probably aimed my shots a little bit more patiently too. But like I said, I was trying to angle my turret for as long as possible without having to have the turret faced on with the enemy, because that's when they can pen you. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I'm curious to see what you thought of this battle, and maybe there's something else that I could have done better that you guys saw, or maybe there was something good that I did do that I didn't mention. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed watching, and hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you later.